In today's video, we're going to compare the cost of renting versus the cost of owning. Now, I did a quick Google search just to see what were some of the top cities that people were relocating to in 2023. And one of the cities that have come up was Sarasota, Florida. So today I picked a couple of houses that I found on Zillow from Sarasota, and we're going to break down the rent on that property. And then I was able to find a home that's very similar on the same street that's also listed for sale. And then we're going to break down what that payment looks like and truly compare. Is it better to rent or is it better to own right now? So if this is the first time you're checking out my channel, my name is Seanu Uyehara. I'm an area manager with Geneva Financial, and I created this channel to help you understand and get your mortgage right. We help our clients from all over the country get better mortgages and just don't get taken advantage of in this crazy market that we're in right now. So if you ever need a second opinion on your mortgage, whether it's a purchase or refinance, you can hit the description below. There's links to my email and more information as well. And if you do need a purchase pre-approval, we can also help you with that as well. We'd love to help you get into your new home, so definitely reach out to us, and we'd love to talk to you about your financing options. Now, again, I just went to Zillow.com and I found a couple of properties. So this first one here is 4743 Woodbrook, and you can see that it's listed for $3,100 a month. I just did a basic search, 3-bedroom, 2+ bath, about 15 to 1700 square feet, and this is what came up. So you can see here for rent, we're looking at about $3,100 a month. Now, obviously, there are homes that are cheaper and there's obviously homes that are more expensive, but this one kind of caught my eye. So you can see it's got 4 attached garage spaces, central air. It's been listed for 3 days. 2-story home. Looks pretty nice. You can see here some of the amenities. Looks like you've got a community pool, playground, nice little barbecue area. So looks like a pretty cool spot. Again, $3,100 a month. If this is something you would move into or rent, hey, drop that in the comments below. We'd love to know that. Now, on the flip side, I found another property that's on Woodbrook as well, 4823. So probably a couple doors down, listed for sale at $475. They list this as 3 baths, 1680 square feet. So again, pretty comparable to what we're looking at in terms of our rental. Now, this home is listed at $475,000, but you could also see here that they just reduced this sales price about $14,000 a couple weeks ago. Again, maybe signs of a softening market, but as a buyer, that works out to your favor. The fact that the seller is already reducing their price, maybe they have some other wiggle room that they could also look into for you as well. So let's take a look and break down this payment here if we were to purchase this home. So if we've got a sales price of $475,000, I'm gonna go with FHA financing on this one. Okay, so that's only 3.5% down. Now, the thing you have to remember is that when you are looking at these properties online, more often than not, they're calculating a 20% down payment. So this is where a lot of times I get clients that are very confused when we give them numbers when they look at any sort of down payment assistance programs, VA financing, or anything that has a lower down payment, because you're looking at these websites and they're trying to entice you by the fact that, hey, you can buy this house and this payment's pretty cheap. But again, you're putting a significant amount of money down to purchase this home. But let's just take a look at FHA financing for the sake of this video and just see what does that do to our overall payment. So if we're doing 3.5% down, our down payment is going to be $16,000. 625. So not a ton of money, but again, let's take a look at something really quick and let's see if they have this information on Zillow. So we're paying $3,100 a month in rent. Are they giving us any sort of information as far as what the requirements are to rent this property? They're okay with dogs. Nothing really on here stating what is going to be required. So obviously we would have to contact the agent to figure that out. But you can see how much the rents have skyrocketed from 2014 to 2023. This house was renting for almost $1,800 a month, and then now it's $3,100 a month. That's the beauty of being a landlord and owning real estate. You can always increase your rents over the years. But let's go back to our down payment and purchase scenario here. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to look at a mortgage calculator. So we know our base loan amount is going to be about $458,375. And let's say our rate today, ballpark about 7.5%. Again, make sure you check with your loan officer as far as where your interest rates are. Rates fluctuate every single day. They fluctuate sometimes multiple times throughout the day. And I can tell you over the last several weeks, rates have been getting worse and worse and worse by the day. You can keep up with the rates by just simply looking online. There's a lot of mortgage websites that publish rates every day. You can kind of keep on track of seeing what's going on. But August was horrible. Rates got worse every single day, it felt like, and there was almost no end to it. So let's take a look here. 3.5% down at a 7.5% interest rate. Our principal and interest payment is going to be $3,205. Okay, now we also have to take into account our property taxes. So let's take a look and let's see what they have taxes listed for here. About $4,500 a year. So make sure you break that down by 12. And our property taxes are coming out to about $375.25 a month. You're also going to have insurance. Your insurance is going to be pretty hefty since you're in Florida. And Zillow gives us $166 a month. So let's just use that number. And then you also have an HOA of $159 a month. And let's see what our total comes out to be. $39,0525. So if you were looking at doing an FHA loan on this exact property, your total payment's going to be $39.05 a month compared to $3,100 a month to rent basically the exact same house on this street. So in this specific scenario, renting would be better. You could literally save $800 a month, but my question to you would be, what are you going to do with that other $800? Assuming, let's say you could qualify for this home. You need to make sure that you're putting that money to work. Whether you're saving up more money, whether you're putting that into the stock market, you're finding some sort of vehicle to earn you more money or build up a bigger nest savings, because just taking the savings itself is great. But if you have bad debt, pay that debt off, right? Because you want to be able to put yourself in a better position so that way when you are ready to buy, you can certainly buy. Don't just take the cheaper route and just spend the money on frivolous items. That's where I think a lot of people make that mistake, that knowing that they can potentially rent a home for a cheaper amount, but yet when they do that, they're not looking at how can they then get themselves ready for the future. So in this case, in an FHA scenario, it would be smarter to rent. But let's just see what Zillow has calculated here for us with this $3,100 payment. So we can see here, again, just like I mentioned to you, they're assuming a 20% down payment. They're using a 7% interest rate, but let's just see what 7.5% does for us, okay? So we go to 20%, 7.5%. There's no mortgage insurance. We have our property taxes, homeowners insurance, HOA fees. Takes us back to $33.07 a month. So even if you put 20% down, you're a couple $100 more expensive when owning. However, don't forget that as a homeowner, you do have write-offs that come along with the house. This is something where you want to get with your CPA to figure out how much money you could be saving by becoming a homeowner. And I think all the net benefits of all the tax savings that you could have, your payment's probably going to be pretty close to $3,100 a month. So in this scenario, if you were thinking of putting maybe 20% down on this house, that would probably get you the same amount as you would pay in rent. So if you have that kind of money laying around, again, Zillow did this calculation at 20% down, so you're looking at $95,000. If you have that kind of money plus your closing costs, you can certainly look at potentially buying, because then at that point you're paying almost the same amount of money, and now you get the upside of being a homeowner. And you can see this home here, it looks like it's move-in ready. So not a lot of renovation work that's probably going to be needed in this property. You could move in unless you like this color blue or green. You're probably painting the walls, and looks like that's about it. So I think it's a really good scenario here that you can take into account. FHA, a little tougher to justify the purchase. If you've got the money to put down the 20%, you're probably going to be right in the same ballpark as owning a home. So now at this point, you need to decide for yourself, what do you want to do? Do you want to start building wealth in real estate, or do you want to be able to save up a little more money, get yourself in a better position so maybe you have a little larger down payment? But don't forget, put a game plan together. Don't just go the cheaper route simply because you want the cheaper route. Have a plan to say, look, at the end of this lease, if it's a year lease or a year and a half lease, you're going to be able to put away $10,000, $15,000, and now you're going to have a little more money to come to the table with in order to purchase your home and get your foot in the door with investing in real estate. Now, if you want me to do another breakdown in any other part of the country, comment below, or if you have any other questions, I'm happy to answer them. And don't forget, if you need a pre-approval, I'm here to get you started and get you into the real estate game. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.